Hi, this is Glenn Gate from G Squared Interactive, and this is episode 12 of SEO from the Front Lines. For today's episode, I'm going to continue with providing updates based on the August core update, which has been a huge update. We're now over 2 weeks into the update. There's a lot that's been going on. Each morning I've been sharing what I've been seeing, across verticals, different things I'm seeing, interesting things via my core update notes on X. And today I'm just going to cover the last week of things that have gone on. Because the last time I recorded one of these episodes was last Friday. So I let 7 days go by, unfortunately, because there's quite a bit to cover. So I'm going to try and keep this as quick as possible. There's a lot to cover. So I have some slides here, and we're just going to hop right in. So first, everybody wants to know about the September helpful content update, HCUX sites that were heavily impacted. Again, I have a barometer that I'm using, which is about 390 sites that were heavily impacted. And what I do each morning is I run the visibility reporting for those. Earlier on in the update, sites started surging back, but it wasn't like a ton of them, and then more and more. And each day I check, there's some more. So as of this morning, 88 of the 390 plus have started surging back. Now, not all are surging back to where they were. Some are still down big time, while others have recovered their visibility almost fully, or in certain cases, not a lot, but they've gone beyond where they were. So let me just show you what I've been seeing. So here are some updated screenshots. That's as of August 28th, so a few days ago. You could see the site surging back. But overall, look, that's a really nice increase, but still down heavily. Here's another one, a really big increase for this site. Coming back, again, that's a great rebound right there. But not back to where it was before. And I've always said that, first of all, not every site's going to recover from the September helpful content update. And the ones that do could recover to an extent, not fully. Some may come back fully, and others may not. And my favorite so far that I've shared before, which was really amazing to see, is that site that I said had come back almost full recovery is now fully beyond where it was before the September helpful content update. Definitely an outlier. I'm not seeing a lot like this, but this one has absolutely surged through the roof, as you can see. Okay, next. So Google can always push what I call tremors. This is dating back to medieval panda days, back in like 2011 and beyond. John Mueller confirmed to me then that Google can push, tweaks to the update based upon what they're seeing in the search results. I ended up calling them tremors, and that has kind of stuck. So with this update, we hadn't seen any real major tremors yet, but then I did on August 24th into 25th. And this is a great way to see it. So if you have rank tracking set up, which I highly recommend doing, so taking like a subset of your most important queries and rank tracking them, then you could, it's like a barometer for your own site, right? So it's not overall visibility, but it's the most important terms to see what's going on. Anyway, for this site that I'm tracking, you could see clearly on the 25th, they started to jump up again for queries that had dropped in the past. And now they're up even more. You could see it even on the 29th jump up even more. So you can see this as it goes on. And this wasn't the only site. I started seeing this across a bunch of sites. And by the way, here's them against one of their top competitors. As you can see, with this tremor, they actually jumped above their competitor. Again, these are for their most important queries that we're rank tracking. So pretty cool to see. Some other examples of the tremor. So again, August 25th, boom, site drops heavily. This is a site with a lot of visibility that saw a really big drop. Here's another one, another site with a lot of with large visibility, actually taking a big drop on the 25th. Here's another site that actually started to drop with the August core update and then started to bounce back on the 27th. So we've definitely seen, I shared this morning, even more tremors beyond the 27th. So Google's definitely tweaking some things, it looks like. Or they're updating other systems. We don't know. The core update's still rolling out. With the March core update, they were updating systems along the way, which is why we saw so much volatility. They could be doing that now. We really don't know. So anyway, just something to keep in mind so you can check your own visibility, your own trending. Don't always base it on traffic. That can change based on a lot of stuff, but visibility trending will show you what's going on with rankings. Okay, next up, site reputation abuse. So in one of my previous videos about the August core update, I was like, is Google actually algorithmically handling site reputation abuse with the August core update? Didn't look like that was happening because some were surging, some were dropping. It looked just like the core update was doing its thing. So here are two really big examples of directories on big sites that are violating the site reputation abuse spam policy for sure. And with the August core update, you can see, I mean, look at this drop. This is a massive drop. I was actually talking with Lily Ray about this one a few days ago because she had pinged me about it, and I have that documented as well. Anyway, as you can see, really big drop for that directory. Here's another one, another large publisher that this is outside of the U.S. that also had, is violating the policy, and that directory is absolutely tanking. So core updates can do that, right? So quality isn't as high in a specific directory even, and I'll cover more about that soon when I cover a larger site. But you can see volatility in specific directories as well, and this is a great example of that. Those aren't manual actions, by the way. Everything's indexed and everything seems like it's okay on that front. But algorithmically, with the update, they started to tank. So on the flip side, not all site reputation abuse, violations are, basically dropping. Here's one that's a good example of a site that is clearly violating the policy and is kind of surging with the update. And here's what it looks like over time. So, it definitely shows that Google isn't perfect on this front, and they are working on an algorithmic approach to site reputation abuse, which, as we know now, hasn't rolled out. And this is a good example of that. I mean, this site, this directory within this site should not be surging like that. So, okay, so YMYL, not always about the links. So a lot of people, when they talk about like health and medical or finance, think that it's all about links, right? For double eat and so on and so forth. And links are important. Don't get me wrong, but I have documented this many times over major updates, including core updates, reviews updates, etc. That sometimes the sites surging have a fraction of the links of the behemoths in the industry. And here are just a few examples. I shared this the other day on X. So here's a site really jumping up in visibility with the August core update right when it rolls out. It has a fraction of the links of some of the other sites that it's competing with, right? So Google's evaluating the site overall. It's not just about links. And this is just a really good example. Here's another one. Much less visibility, but still a good amount of visibility, surging with the core update. And as you can see, this is an example of where you could see on like the 24th and the 25th, another bump, another surge there. And one last one, and this site with a lot of visibility, also seeing a jump. And so my point is, it's just not always about gaining all the links, right? There are lots of examples of niche players that are outranking behemoths and jumping up while those larger players are dropping. So, okay. Regarding links, this is an interesting one. So I picked this up today. I shared it on X. And basically, it's a really powerful site. Has over 22 million inbound links from, I think it was 73,000 plus domains. Really powerful site. Big brand. Everybody knows it. They are absolutely tanking during this update. So as you can see, the visibility reporting, this is Systrix. It's dropping really, really heavily. And this was, if I remember correctly, it's one that dropped late. Right, so during one of the Tremors, with whatever Google's pushing, whether it's another system they're updating or tweaking the update based upon what they see in the search results. Anyway, this site really tanking, and it has 22 million links from 73,000 domains. It's a big brand, but again, Google's looking at more than just links, right? Here's the Ahrefs trending for it. As you can see, really big drop as well. Okay, so pushing the limits, Google will catch up. I've always said that, right? So if you're violating its guidelines, right, in this case, AI-generated content with little human involvement, I noticed this site a few months ago. As you can see, look at the trending, surging up. 7 million plus URLs were pumped out on the site, lots with using AI without human involvement. And look, before the update, it even surges even more and then completely crashes. It is dropping very, very heavily right now. So again, Google will catch up. And now you're in a situation where if that domain is important to you, you're in a lot of trouble. Here's the Systrix reporting for it. Pretty drastic. I mean, Systrix has it dropping even more percentage-wise. So anyway, just don't do it, right? If you're going to use AI, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I mean, if you're going to have it help you, make sure humans are involved, editing it, making sure it's accurate, providing value, so on and so forth. Don't just pump it out of a tool and throw it on your site, especially like 7 million URLs. That's crazy, and this is what can happen. Okay, here's another interesting case I picked up. This is a site that's surging with the August core update, but they actually tanked at the tail end of the June spam update. Now, with spam updates, you can recover from algorithmic spam updates, right? Google's explained that, but it really needs to see from, for an extended period of time that you're doing the right things. You cleaned up whatever spam policies you were violating, so on and so forth. But this was a really interesting one. I mean, it's really surging back, but a massive drop. It was right at the very tail end of the spam update. Now, we saw volatility right after that spam update. So I don't know if this dropped due to the spam update or the volatility after. Regardless, it's surging back. It was a pretty interesting one. And here's the Systrix visibility for that. As you can see, massive drop and then massive gains with the August core update. Okay, this is just kind of a PSA. I noticed a domain name change during a broad core update. Listen, I get it. Migrations are planned well ahead of time. But if you know a broad core update or a major update is rolling out, I highly recommend you do not roll out a big migration. This domain name change is rolling out right when, in the middle of the broad core update. So they knew it was rolling out and either said, we don't care, or it was planned and we're going to go ahead with it. I think it's crazy because if anything happens and it doesn't go well, you don't know if it's the domain name change or if it's the core update or a combination of both. And as you can see here, as of now, the new domain is showing very, very little visibility. So we'll see how this goes. I'm definitely going to track it. It's in a niche that one of my clients is in. So I'll be watching this pretty closely. Okay, LinkedIn Pulse and advice. So volatile areas for LinkedIn for sure. So LinkedIn is a massive site, obviously. So when Google rolls out broad core algorithm updates, directories can actually see a lot of impact. So with Google site level quality algorithms, they usually work on the host name level, right? So that's why you could see subdomains. Sometimes one drops and another subdomain surges. So if that's the case, that's what's going on there. It's a site level quality algorithm at the host name level. But with large sites like this, you could actually see it pretty clearly sometimes at the directory level. And there's, it's very apparent over time that LinkedIn Pulse, which contains articles from LinkedIn users and stuff, and then advice, which is their AI generated collaboration product, where they start with fully AI content and then users are supposed to come and provide their 2 cents. Users don't always provide their 2 cents, and then it's all AI content. So it's a really risky area for them, in my opinion, and the volatility that it's seen over time is crazy. So what I have up here is Pulse first, which is the article section. And as you can see, it's really dropping heavily so far with this update. Anything could happen, it could turn around, but as of right now, it's really dropping. And then the AI generated part, where advice and then people are supposed to come in and provide their 2 cents, that is also dropping pretty heavily. So that's not good. Sometimes I've seen Pulse and advice go in opposite directions, but right now they're both going in the wrong direction for LinkedIn. And the last thing I wanted to cover was something that someone brought up on my last video. They posted a comment. If I knew that person, I would provide credit. So I'll see if I can do that at a later time. But they brought up, now I brought up in the last video that SERP features for some sites are surging when it's not necessarily rankings in the 10 blue links. So it's important to understand that. In SEMrush, you could easily segment SERP features via organic, as you can see right here, organic versus SERP features. But with a specific SERP feature, like things to know, that person brought up that, hey, it's surging for, I think it was for their site. And I started checking a bunch of sites that were surging, and that is happening. And I'm seeing that feature more. And the sites that are surging are now into that feature, which could totally happen, right? With a quality reevaluation, now Google can say that, hey, this site with this content can rank in the things to Know SERP feature, which usually shows up near the top of the search results, or low. It can be in the middle, but it's often at the top. It's like, from the web, basically, where you click the arrow, it's like an accordion comes down, there's a carousel or different sites listed there. Anyway, it's an important feature and can get you a lot of visibility, and that seems to be surging with a bunch of sites that are increasing with this update. Here's one example, and so here are two examples. Here's the first example, big surge up. Second one, small, lower visibility, but you can see during this update and during the Tremors, by the way, that surge is going on. And this is isolating the things to know SERP feature, which again, you could do in SEMrush very easily. And just so you know what it looks like on desktop, this is what it looks like. So this is one where HouseFresh is actually ranking in it now, because HouseFresh has surged with this update, which is great to see. And on mobile, sometimes the things to know title's gone, but you could still see the categories there. Anyway, it's just something to check out for your own site. So those are the core update notes as of August 30th, 2024. We're over 2 weeks into the core update. I don't know when it's going to end. I thought about 2 weeks, so maybe we only have a few days left, but Google said it could be a month. So I expect if it continues that we may see another tremor or two or more. I mean, who knows? And I will be covering everything on Twitter in my Good Morning Google Land core update notes, tweets, and threads. And then I'll post another one of these videos if the core update is still going on, or just to recap what I've seen. So that's it. So hang in there. I hope you have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.